The Common Council is now in session. Please rise and we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance by Mike Bishop.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now we'll have invocation by Reverend Wayne Blair.
First, let me thank all of those who are willing to serve the public, all people who are interested in what's going on. Let's go to God then. Father, we come before your presence on behalf of these people who are willing to serve, asking that you will lead them, that you will guide them and direct them, that they will receive the support that they need from the community. And now, God, we'd like to ask your blessing upon the community, that the community will support these people, and that we will once more begin to really look at pride in our community, that more and more people will participate in the many things and the many needs that we have. And we ask it all in the name of our Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, if everybody will make sure their cell phones ringers are off, please. Okay, we'll have roll call.
Councilman Nobby?
Here.
Councilwoman Montgomery?
Here.
Councilwoman Phillips?
Here.
Councilman Nettie?
Present.
Councilwoman Durham?
Present.
Councilman Frank?
Present.
Councilman Bishop?
Present.
Okay, we do have a quorum, so we'll be able to do business. Okay, has everybody got a copy of the minutes? Is there any additions or corrections? Any discussions? If not, I'll take a motion to approve them as presented.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay, we're going to new business now, and our first one up is Terry. And where's she at? Oh, there she is. And she can explain this test we're going to take.
Well, when I ask you who requested it, you'll understand Dale Strong requested it, so you
Okay.
see why it's a book. When he was appointed the council member rep for the county council, he had me start doing an annual report. It's very informative. It tells every single thing that has to do with 911. I feel obligated to give it to you guys as well, considering that you guys pay a portion of our salaries for 911. You know, need to see where your money is going to as well. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. I promise this will be under 3 minutes. I'm just going to go through it, give you a little synopsis of it. Fayette County 911, we do 7 different agencies, and including with the EMS transfers, we do 8 different departments. 2 law enforcement, 2 medical, that's including the EMS transfers, and 4 different fire departments. The next page you can have our staffing. Some of the things that we did in 2015, we purchased and installed a new voice logger, a new recorder. It is awesome. We're also able to screenshot the computer screens, so then we can make sure the dispatchers are doing what they need to be on the screens as well. We're able, instead of burning the CDs, able to digitally put them into a file. If the prosecutor's office needs them, we can put them into a file. She can just go in and drop and get them. Very time efficient, so we're doing that. Each computer workstation, it has 4 computers on it and 5 monitors. These were all replaced in 2011. Michael King and myself are looking at replacing one of those. Actually, he was in there today replacing one of them with an older computer, but 24/7 use on those computers is a lot. So we're on our 5th year of those. For the 911 system, we're still ready for the next generation 911, which is the texting to 911, where they can send the pictures as well. We have the capabilities of inbound texting and the outbound texting of 911 calls. We utilize this for a 911 hang-up. If it's from a cell phone and we can get the number, we'll text it. You know, hey, do you have a problem, in case they're in a situation that they cannot talk. All of our Fayette County dispatchers, part-time and full-time personnel are all CPR certified. We are also certified in emergency medical dispatching. That's where we're able to provide CPR instructions or raise your arm, put pressure, anything pre-arrival until the EMS gets there. I'll give kudos to them. Our average response time from the time that we say 911 to the time that they are there within city limits is on the average of 2 minutes, and that's huge. I mean, you figure a minute of that is the tones and us talking and then driving, and I mean, phenomenal.
That's good for your ISO rating.
Yes, yes. I'm in meetings and I'll tell them that we have the response time of that, and they're just like, what? So kudos to them. We also are certified in NCIC and IDAX. That's a national database. When they run your plates, basically, and they run your driver's license, if you get issued gun permits, it's FBI clearance, basically. It sounds really fancy. So we're all certified in that. We also have to complete the NIMS. We have a monthly department training of 2 hours every single month that I do. Tomorrow is our day for that. So each dispatcher at least receives 24 hours of training every year. There is not a set standard for dispatchers at this time on how much training that they're supposed to have, so that's pretty good. For our emergency notification system for Everbridge, we have 9,462 people that are signed up for the Everbridge. That is on top of the phone book that's already implemented into that program. That's an increase of 355 people from last year, so that's good. We've used it for boil water, road closures, the snow advisories or weather advisories. And we continue to put it out there, social media, at the fair, everything we can. Page 6 has the important numbers that is kind of eye-opening for you guys. This is a report of all of the incidents that we have dispatched in 2015. For Connersville Police Department, we did 8,406 incidents. Fayette County Sheriff's Department, we did 4,059. EMS, we did 2,711. For the Connersville Fire Department, 1,289. Glenwood Fire Department, 189. Everton Fire Department, 376. And Bentonville Fire Department, 144. That's a total of 17,174 incidents that was dispatched out in 2015. For our call volume, on the next page, we have the means of tracking our 911 calls. For the wireline, we received 1,824 calls. That's an increase of 142. Those are your landline phones. Our wireless, which is our cell phones, we received 10,186, which is an increase of 1,473. Our VoIP, which is the voice over internet, 516, which is a decrease of 12. The non-service initialized phones are the cell phones that are not in service anymore. When you get a new one, they throw these old ones out, or they give them to their kids and don't take the batteries out. They still call 911. We received 637 of those, which is a decrease of 23. And the total cost for there is 13,093 calls, which is an increase of 1,580 calls.
Terry, what happens when they dial that number and what happens?
It comes into our 911 center, we just don't get callback information.
Okay.
So it still works as a 911 call. Legislation's trying to change that because everything is a money game, and we don't receive any funds for those. We receive them from landlines, VoIP, the prepaid phones.
Okay.
But the non-service phones, yeah.
May I ask you a question?
Yes.
May I ask, why do you think there's such an increase in the total call received from in 2014, an increase of 1,580? And I know that's an unfair question, but just
I think that
ballpark.
it's just that the 911's there. It's easier to call 911 than the 825-2111. I'll admit we have a lot of calls that I don't have any minutes on my phone. So they can call 911 on that prepaid phone that doesn't have minutes, but they can't call the 211 line. We receive a lot of those. That's just the numbers. The fastest growing are the prepaid. So everybody's dropping their landlines and going to cell phones.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
Prepaid is listed under the wireless?
Yes.
Included? Okay.
Yes.
Terry,
Yes,
That, the voice over, the ones that are the old phones?
the
Is that what you're
voice is the voice over internet. It's like a phone through your computer.
Oh, no.
Those are
Oh,
like-
the NSI ones.
The NSI.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Are those legit though?
Yes,
that-
I mean, those are calls that we still have to answer, 911, what's your emergency?
Okay, I just want to make sure because
Yeah.
I thought maybe the way you said it, it kind of sounded like that they maybe have just been playing with them or something.
Sometimes, well, even if it is a kid, they're on
Yeah.
there, we still try to do whatever we can, to figure out if it's.
But mostly they
if
are
it's-
legit?
Yeah, I mean, I would have to go through each and every single one
Well,
of them
right.
to see, so, but, most of the time, yeah. We also do let me back up, some texting to the 911, which is fairly new, we have 15, and we text from 911, we have the program in there to where it's a computer program where we can text to your cell phone, hey, are you okay? We received a 911 call from here, everything is recorded, that's part of the next gen. Indiana is a leader in that, actually Fayette County was one of the first counties to get that implemented, and other states are a nightmare right now on how they're going to get this into their 911 systems, but it's been a very smooth transition.
Good.
For public education, social media is basically Facebook is our biggest way. When we send something out, we can report how many are on there. We received about 8,001 Facebook touches. It touches that many. The surcharges, which is basically half of how 911 is funded. This is what's on your phone bills, your cell phones. All of that is $1. Again, it says on here that the prepaid phones are the fastest growing. That information comes from the State 911 Board, where they collect all of the money from everyone and give us that report of that. You can see our budget beginning and the ending. The Fund 122 is the surcharge money. Our Fund 4912, that fund was started in June. We had to put your guys' money into a different fund, or we were commingling money from the State Board of Accounts. It was all kind of a nightmare. So the auditor, we did that, so that's why it's showing half of what you guys did, because that didn't start until halfway through the month. Basically, through it all, we operated on $93,824.69. So not bad for two positions, 24/7, getting all of the equipment out.
Terry, forgive me if
Yes.
this is redundant, but up of the prepaid phone, you get money from that or do not
Yes.
get?
Anytime someone purchases a prepaid phone
Okay, good.
or the minutes, they have to pay $1.
Okay, good,
I forget exactly how they say it, but if you go to Walmart, you get charged $1 fee right
Okay.
then.
good.
So, they were having a problem with a lot of the smaller people collecting that money and turning it in, but they've gotten a lot of
Smaller
money now.
retail.
Yeah. The next few pages, I'm not gonna go through all of it, you can see the breakdown of each call for 2015 for Connersville Police Department. The number of them, like the 911 hang-ups, we received 34 of those. Those are the 911 hang-ups that someone was there that we sent an officer to that we could locate, and we sent an officer there not knowing what was going on. I'm not going to go through every one of those calls. Sheriff's
Thank you.
Department, yeah. Basically, the rest of the report has all of that for each one of the departments, has the number of 911 calls for each month broken down. You'll see it written up there at the top. Obviously, our summer months, we increase our calls. You can see that by the call types. I know I should have put tabs on this.
It's okay.
So that goes all through there. The remaining pages are just basically the budget pages. Every penny that came into the 911 budget, every penny that went out, every claim that was paid for, everything. And then a copy of the State Board of Accounts annual report that I had to turn in and to the statewide 911. That's about as transparent as you can get.
Okay, on page,
Very
Is there
good.
anything in here, Terry, that's sensitive to the point where this cannot be shared with anyone in case media asks or?
I wouldn't think so, because they can
Okay.
figure out the budgets from going to the auditor's
Okay.
office. I believe that's public knowledge. I mean, that's,
I mean, is there any HIPAA things in here?
no,
Okay.
no. Any questions on anything?
We'll sit and read this tonight.
Yeah, yeah, I bet you will.
Tell Dale Strong we said thank you.
Do you have any explanation as to the decrease of 2,800 from the police department?
Well, that
a
was
lot.
something that, the new chief and I, when we first did that, we about had a heart attack. Although it's not my job to analyze that, what we can figure up is they used to log in the business checks when they would go in and do business checks. So you had, 30, 40 business checks every single day, and they don't log those into the Spillman anymore. They have their own method of keeping track of that. So we think that that's a huge part of that.
Now, business checks, what do you mean by that?
When they're going to check businesses
Okay.
after hours or secure business
So
or.
every
Okay.
What do
day.
you guys call it? Business premise check, yeah.
That's what I thought, but I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
daily.
Yeah, daily, I
24,
mean,
yeah.
yeah, you got 4 or 5 officers doing,
Yeah.
I think they, at that time, they had what, like 5 or 6 they had to do every night, so
Yeah.
that's a huge, huge part of that, because that was a huge red flag. We were like, oh, so,
Okay.
okay, thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
Okay, the next item up for you on the agenda is Dan Parker, Economic Development.
Oh, Mr. Dan.
Good evening. This is my first report to this newly elected city council, and I would like to first congratulate each of you on winning your respective seats. Would also like to congratulate our mayor, Harold Gordon, and the clerk treasurer, Rosemary Brown, on winning your full-time positions.
Thank you.
I have a short report, won't take long at all. I gave each of you a little something about the ACT, Work Ready Community, and our progress and as to where we're at on becoming a certified county. We are not yet. We are 8 months into trying to become certified. You can see they give you 24 months to do so. Yours is not in color, but we'll stop at the bottom. We're green, we're good. If you look at the numbers over here on emerging, current, transitioning, and the number of employers, this is the goals that ACT gives to Fayette County and Connersville to complete these goals and hopefully go over them. And we have in every one except transitioning. We need 23 more transitioning individuals before we become gold. For those of you who may not know or haven't or don't remember, you'll recall the ACT Work Ready initiative helps close the gaps between employees and employers through testing or assessments. And then after the assessments are made, the gaps appear, and then remediation can take place, and we can improve these people who are trying to gain employment through this program. And in fact, they can earn a National Career Readiness Certificate, or the NCRC. And that's one of the things that Work One is helping us with in administering the test. And I believe the Career Center does too. So we are invested in this program, and this is one of the things that employers ask us when we go to meet with them is, tell us about your workforce, tell us about your talent pool, tell us about your skilled labor. We want to know that. And this ACT thing really scores high with each of those people that I meet with when they see that we're in it. Rushville is already gold. Henry County is about the same place we're at. Jay County just started the program. Randolph is gold. So the Randolph and Rush are the only 2 gold counties, and we're hopeful that by this summer we will be too. So any questions on the ACT Work Ready community? I'll press on here then. The next thing is we're progressing with the formation of the new Regional Planning Commission, East Central Indiana Regional Planning Commission. That is a 5-county organization that is made up of mostly elected officials that serve on that.
think it's over half of the people that serve on the, in each county. And the 5 counties that we are in are Union, Rush, Wayne, and Randolph, Fayette being the 5th. So those are the counties that are in this regional planning district. And what this does, this allows us to apply for EDA funds from the federal government. Let's just say, for instance, there was someone north of us that wanted to accept our sewage, and we needed to build the infrastructure. This is exactly where EDA funds come in, and you can't obtain those funds unless you're a member of a regional planning commission, and we are. So this is a good thing for us going forward. I use this example. One of the things that has helped Rushville, if you go over north of Walmart on 3 and look at the industrial park over there, it's EDA funds that they applied for and received them. Any questions on the Regional Planning Commission? You guys are easy tonight. I appreciate this.
You might tell them that we went to the Manufacturing Matters.
Oh, yeah.
We went to that.
I will. I will do that right now. In fact, that leads me to my last item here, and that is to give you a report on our new mayor. I think you and the community would like to know. Manufacturing Matters is one of the things that our new mayor and I have been to. You know, I vie for his time just like anyone else that comes in. You know, where's the mayor at? What's the schedule like? We need to do this, we need to do that. And he's been great. He really has. We go into businesses together, and these people just flock to him. They run to him. And all these girls that he's coached, they all know him, and they all come up and get a hug. I mean, it's really, it's something to go, because I just kind of take a back seat and stand back and watch the mayor work a crowd. These people just love him when he goes into these factories. And that's one of the things we've been doing. We've been going to all the major industries and businesses in Connersville to see about their needs, their desires, how they plan to move their businesses forward. We haven't been to all of them, but we've been to quite a few. The Manufacturing Matters that the mayor brought up was in Richmond, and we were, I think we were part of 12 people that helped shake hands with the graduates as they got their certificates in Manufacturing Matters. There was about 7 or 9 individuals that completed the course. It's a great program that really teaches people how to be good workers, how to be responsible, soft skills, get to work on time. And those that complete that course almost have a guaranteed job waiting on them when they're done. So
So
it's
there was
great
2 of them that got hired
that day.
that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the mayor was introduced and spoke to the crowd, and if there's anybody in the community that had reservations about Harold Gordon being mayor, I want to tell you, don't worry, we're in good hands. I think it's going to be a good union with Harold and the city of Connersville. Probably one of the biggest things I'm getting, I have a hard time calling him mayor, because I've called him Harold all my life. And we've known each other over 50 years, so it's kind of a tough transition to call him mayor. But I'm getting better at it. If those businesses out there that are listening that we haven't visited, please don't be concerned. It's a matter of getting those businesses scheduled and the mayor's schedule to kind of come together, but we intend to see all that we can. That's my report to you tonight. Any questions to me regarding economic development?
I have one, if I
Okay,
may.
sure, go ahead.
And I'm probably going to ask you this at every meeting.
Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
I know there's restraints on what you're allowed to say because of confidentiality, but do we have any light at the end of the tunnel at all for any prospects as far as jobs coming to the city right now?
Well, I'll tell you what I can tell you.
That's what I ask.
We have 2 very good opportunities that we're working on. Well-known companies that are real companies.
I picked that right up.
I'm making reference, Harry.
I won't say anymore, I don't wanna start anything, but, we have two very, very good companies that are, you would recognize the names instantly. And, we're hopeful that we can, continue the dialogue. We've had a couple of conversations with each of them. And, it's my hope and prayer that, something good will materialize. I don't think I've said too much, have I, Mayor?
No.
That's probably enough.
Is
I
the
tell them
thing-
about the signs.
Is the thing at D&M dead? Is that a dead issue?
Well, without getting myself into a situation where I might get sued,
Mr. Baker will get you out of that.
I think it's safe to say that that's kind of behind us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
The building owner, who is a peach of a guy, is going to pay for removing those signs. If it's not this week, it'll be next week. I've been in communication with the sign company. We've got some help from our people across the street at the courthouse. You know, I don't know why it is, but it seems like the county and the city are working better than they ever have.
That's
And
good.
it's just a real blessing for all of us in trying to move Connersville forward. But at any rate, I think that this chapter's behind us.
Thank you, sir.
Anything else?
I have a question.
Yes.
I don't know if it's really for you or for Harold or for Diana, but in going around to the businesses, because of, there has been rumors that there's a few of the newer companies that maybe weren't holding up to their bargains on full-time employees,
I
with the
can-
tax abatements.
I can
Is
address that. I can address some of that. First of all, when it comes to tax abatements, there is certainly some compliance issues, and that's a yearly report that's given to this council. So that'll come up as the year progresses. You'll get to see that and address that. Concerning agreements that have been made with the city and a certain company in this town, that has been ran to ground, and they are good right now.
Okay.
We kind of looked at something a little differently than we should have, but they're fine. There's no issues. We wish it was more employees, but they're not in any violation at all.
Okay.
That a fair statement?
Fair statement.
Is that a fair statement, John Baker?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
Are they on target to meet the next goal?
We hope so. From when the mayor and I visited that business, they gave us the impression that they had sent out more samples than they ever had, and that would interpret more orders, and that would result in more employees. So our hope is that is exactly what happens.
Dan?
Yes, sir,
The
Dave.
form that you handed out
Yes.
for our signature,
Yes.
is that something you'd like for us to do this
Yeah,
evening?
if there's any fears from a legal standpoint, your attorney is my attorney. He's the EDG attorney as well as the city attorney. So I wouldn't worry much about signing this thing, but you can certainly show it to your own attorney if you'd like. I've already had 3 or 4 of them signed and give them back to me. What that allows me to do, if there is something that would be, say, in your district or your area, or something where you have some expertise, and I want to discuss it with you, and it's a private and confidential nature, this puts you on the same confidentiality level as the mayor and all of our board members. So
All right.
I can discuss things freely with you and not worry about it.
Doesn't need to be notarized or anything,
No.
just witnessed?
Yes.
Okay.
Good enough? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, the next thing on the agenda is the Resolution 2106-2. It's a reimbursement for $1,600.76 into overtime. It was for Operation Pullover. So is there any discussion on that? I mean, they're giving money back to us to put back in chief's budget.
Was that from
Is that a
December?
50, I'm sorry.
Was that from December?
I don't think that's the right amount. I think it was just maybe 6 hours on New Year's Day.
It says, here it says,
59.
it says $1,600.76.
Is this for what already?
Operation Pullover.
That is for the Fayette County Traffic Partnership, that's the full entire amount. Only a certain portion of that goes into the city, the rest of
Okay.
it, we gave a check to the county for.
Okay. So how much does the city get?
About, Approximately 1,100, right
Okay.
in that figure.
So does this have to be redone or anything, or
I didn't think.
as far as,
Okay.
No.
Diane,
Okay.
take care of it.
We pay it out of that, account.
Okay.
Out of the police we pay the sheriff's department out of that account, so
but
So
this is
it's
a
all
reimbursement,
from
this is the money we're gonna take back, right?
that's
Okay.
correct.
So I need a motion to approve this.
I'll make a motion. Oh,
Go ahead. Second.
oh, that we accept pending ordinance 32, no, wait a minute. Resolution 2001-06-02.
Second.
Okay, is there any more discussion?
Do we know how much it is?
Yeah, we're getting $1,600.76, and the clerk treasurer will disperse how it goes. Is that correct?
Part of
That's
it
correct.
belongs to the county,
Yes.
so we're not actually getting that much then.
It's 1,100, we've already written a check to the county when it came in, and that money's already went out.
Okay.
It won't, because the county's money won't be deposited into that.
I'm just wondering how we can pass this if it's incorrect.
Well, I think the amount is correct,
Yeah.
it's just that, it doesn't say in here where
How it's being dispersed.
one part goes to county, one part goes to city.
The
It comes to the-
disbursement of it's
It
what
comes to
we're
the city
talking
first,
about.
and then it's filtered out to.
And that's gonna
Well,
be
the city's already
disbursed.
paid that part.
Well, but
so-
yeah, but it would,
Right.
it has been, but
So I think it is correct as far as the amount.
Yes.
As
And we have a
accepting a
motion,
check,
right?
as accepting one check, yeah.
Right.
Yes.
we accepted one check and then we dispersed the part that goes to the county.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Rosemary, you got your work cut out.
Sorry, taken care of.
Okay, next on the list is Mike. Where's Mike? Yeah. This here is on ordinance 3239, pending order 3239.
Mike?
Hello, it's about adding a new position. We've done a lot of thinking, on our best options for our mapping needs, and I believe it's very important that we have someone here on site to work with us and also train our staff. I know I've sent out emails explaining everything, along with the job description. Hopefully I answered those questions to your satisfaction. But I guess I'm here to ask to amend the salary ordinance 6281. I'm requesting to add a full-time inspector/drafter, GIS coordinator, to the salary ordinance at a bi-weekly rate of $13.88.89. And is there any questions or concerns that you still may have?
GIS means Geographical Information Service, right?
Yes.
And Mike, with our conversation, you know that I think this is a very needed position, and it's actually a position being submitted back into
Yeah,
the.
it used to be, I was told the inspector drafter, what it used to be called, I think it's an old,
Yeah, it eliminated about in 2008 or something.
yeah, it's an old term, but
Yeah.
that's what we're using.
When was the last time this was
I
effective?
think
2008?
2008, 9, something like that.
Mike, I think when we talked, I asked you, you said something about, I think it was 5 years at the most, that we would need this.
Our goal is not gonna be a long-term position.
And I asked you what would happen, and as you said, part of this is to train your personnel to take over this
Right.
position after that.
The gentleman that we want to hire has lots of experience and doesn't want a long-term position, just to finish what was started. And hopefully, after a couple of years, we can train in staff, and we can do it in staff.
I know a lot of times if you.
I think it's a very important position. I think the city should have that position anyway, but I understand financial problems, all that. That may not be a possibility, but maybe in 4 years it can be. But our long-term goal is 4 years, hopefully, that's what we'll need to get everything updated, people trained in our,
To take over when you
Yes.
eliminate the position, because a lot of times, once the position's in there, it's there for the duration, but the goal is to eliminate this after approximately 4 years and carry on with trained staff
Yes.
from this, yeah.
going along with that, this is a salaried position, so you can remove it, put it back in as needed with our approval. So I don't know that you would really have to have anybody sign anything saying that. Because they know when they come on that, hey, in 3 years or 4 years, it may be over.
And we do have enough money in the budget currently to fund this position.
Yes,
Yes, we do.
And that will be coming from the utilities budget?
yes, nothing from the city.
Right, okay.
Unless you want to
As-
throw some in.
You and I discussed this the other day. As this paper indicates, of course, I'm certainly in favor of this. We talked about that. In the position, the wages, and the benefits are the only thing that I would approve. Anything else on these 2 pages kind of confuse me. It doesn't have anything to do with his position or her position that I know of. So if this is presented in any way other than just this position, the wages and the benefits, I'd have to say no. 'Cause unless I don't understand the rest of these 2 pages. Do you understand what I'm talking about?
Yes, I'm just here amending, adding inspector drafter.
Okay.
Yeah, the ordinance already, all he's doing is making an addition of that
Okay.
It's an
position.
amendment to the
Okay.
I think what you're asking is all these other salaries or wages, are they current, no increase, no changes?
No
There-
change.
it's just-
Everything is what I was given first
You
of the
just
year.
put it in there and
Yeah.
it's the whole, it's the complete
Yeah.
list.
I think there was some,
He's also questioning that section 2 and 3 are different from the original salary ordinance. This is different because it's an amended. We're amending an amended ordinance already.
Okay.
So it does not change what sections 2, 3, and 4 stated in the original salary ordinance, but we're just adding that one position. That's why it's different than the original.
Now, I was telling Rosemary today when we're talking that there's a good chance that, being new at this, I don't understand that. All this stuff has to be presented in order to get just that. So,
Right.
but my goal is that position be filled.
I think possibly somewhere down the road, this may become a requirement from the government because we're so far behind with
we get a
our
lot of,
GPS and we get so many requests about where this is at and where that's at and we don't know. Fair statement.
it's a fair statement. Since I've been here a year and a half, it would have came in handy 5, 6, 7 times.
Yeah.
It's valuable. I've got one question I didn't ask you on was, is this in-house mapping only? Or is this gonna be on like Think GIS as well?
It'll be on the,
I access GIS a lot,
right.
but is this internal mapping software or is it gonna be open
It'll
to
be
public?
internal because of the placement of water lines and sewer lines and,
But it's still something I can access
Right.
and view.
right.
Okay, is there any more discussion? Okay, if no more discussion, I'll take a motion to read on, to pass on the first reading.
Mr. Mayor, I move to accept pending orders 3239.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any additional talking on it? Any additionals?
Did you say, that, this person was gonna use benefits?
They do not need health insurance.
Okay.
They'll save us about, I don't know, 21,000.
Okay, on first reading, we'll take a roll call vote, please.
Councilman Nettie?
Yes.
Councilwoman Durham?
Yes.
Councilman Frank?
Yes.
Councilman Bishop?
Yes, please.
Councilman Nabi?
Yes.
Councilwoman Montgomery?
Yes.
Councilwoman Phillips?
Yes.
Okay, it passed on first reading unanimous. Is there any, should we take it to third and final reading?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, it was moved on to third and final reading. Do I need a motion to pass?
Motion to go to third reading.
Second?
Second.
Okay, we'll go ahead and do a roll call vote.
Councilman Frank?
Yes.
Councilman Bishop?
Yes.
Councilman Nabi?
Yes.
Councilwoman Montgomery,
Yes.
Councilwoman Phillips,
Yes.
Councilman Nettie,
Yes.
Councilwoman Durham.
Yes.
Thank you, Mike.
All right,
Thank you, Mike, appreciate it.
Okay, we'll go to pending ordinance 3240. Diane, would you come like to speak to this, please?
I do have access to the tax abatement funds, and each year those funds need appropriated. I don't know why it's called additional, but it is. That's just the way it is. So I'm asking 500 for equipment and 300 in advertisement. I don't have anything right now that I plan on spending the equipment on. That's just in case the computer breaks or printer. But the advertisement, if anybody comes and wants to do a tax abatement, that's where the ad money gets paid for to the News Examiner.
Because I know, Dave, you talked about, we didn't want to do any additionals. Well, this one here is different than the rest, everything else, so,
It's not a normal
It's not
additional, it's just appropriating,
Yes.
actually.
okay.
It's there, it's just appropriating it.
Right, right. It just doesn't get set up like a regular budget during budget time.
Yeah, because I was concerned that the way I read that here it is February, and already we're asking for more money,
Additional.
why it wasn't in the budget?
Yeah.
Well, I understand now.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
No problem.
Okay, is there any more discussion? Can I entertain a motion, to pass on first reading?
So moved.
Just pick one.
Okay, with a motion and a second, we'll go ahead and do a roll call vote.
Councilman Bishop,
Yes.
Councilman Nabi,
Yes.
Councilwoman Montgomery,
Yes.
Councilwoman Phillips,
Yes.
Councilman Nettie,
Yes.
Councilwoman Durham,
Yes.
Councilman Frank.
Yes.
Okay, pass unanimously. Do we go on to third and final reading?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, we'll go to third and final reading. Is there any, I need a motion, please.
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Councilman Nabi,
Yes.
Councilwoman Montgomery,
Yes.
Councilman Phillips,
Yes.
Councilman Nettie,
Yes.
Councilwoman Durham,
Yes.
Councilman Frank,
Yes.
Councilman Bishop.
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay,
Mention anything about this?
we had an addition tonight. Diana, you and Jesse want to talk on this,
Sure.
on active living workshops?
I've been approached about a grant application. It's called Active Living Workshops. The Fayette County Foundation has asked us to partner with them. We do need approval from the city council. There is not any money from the city council that's will be put into this application. And what it is we are ranked 91 out of 92 counties for poor health. And this will give us a workshop from the Indiana State Department of Health that will come into our county and tell us how we can get healthier. They do a workshop of people that, up to 50 people, that they want your stakeholders in your community that, can get out, spread the word. They'll come up with a plan how to get it healthier. The only thing that we will need from city council would be use of the Miller Center, a room for one day. The only other thing the community has to do is the Fayette County Foundation has agreed to do food for the day. You have to provide a lunch, a healthy snack and healthy lunch for the attendees of the workshop. And they've agreed to do that. The application is due February 26th, and they estimated at about $6,500 is the cost of putting on the workshop.
Each one, and is that an individual one you're talking about? $6,500 for each individual workshop, is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Thank you.
Correct. And they do the workshop one day, and then when they do a follow-up, it doesn't give a lot of information about the follow-up.
9 months or something.
Yeah,
9 months after, I think, to check up and see how.
see if we've moved forward with the plan once they give us the plan that's in place for us.
So do you need this council's blessing or anything?
We do need this council's blessing to move forward with this, because we'd hope to think that every one of you, if at all possible, would be able to attend.
The bottom of that first page where it says workshops planned, you're wanting just add Connersville to the other two?
No, this would be between July 16 and June of 17.
June 17.
The ones we're talking about.
It'll be
These are ones
July.
that have already been granted.
Oh, okay.
And then
Yeah.
these would be, ours would be between July 16 and June 17.
The application is just due February 26th.
So that's what I was saying, you would add Connersville.
So how are those people chosen?
If it's in 16, it may be in 17.
Or they,
Oh,
Because these were-
There's, I'm assuming they just get chosen by the type of application you put in. There's, it's like a 3-page application. You answer questions about your community. And it all falls in with the trail idea and moving forward with,
Okay, that's, okay.
it's just a stepping stone to help us get another step closer to be able to apply for some grants in that line.
I think it's a win-win.
as far as our ranking goes, it looks like we might have a pretty good shot at it.
Pretty good shot, I agree.
Use all the help you can get.
Well, I need a motion to give Jesse and Diana our blessing. So I need a motion in a second.
so moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passed.
Thank you, Diane.
Thank you.
Okay, is there any old business brought up by the council?
Are we still on our deadlines for that grant application?
Okay, in miscellaneous business, the mayor's update. Like I said, I've been visiting factories, manufacturers. I've been visiting the House of Ruth. We've had a good discussion on that. We've just been doing a lot of things. It's been busy days. I've also asked for our negotiating committee. I've asked for the department heads to have their language, what language they want changed or need added or whatever in by Friday this week, so I could be able to give it to the negotiating team. And I wish we could talk about what we've talked with some of these factories in town, but we can't, because it is exciting, and there's a lot of good optimism right now. So,
Excuse me, Mayor, are you gonna have a sit down with us three after you get all this information?
yes, yes,
Okay, thank you.
yes. So, you got anything you want to add?
Nothing.
Okay. We'll go to
I have something
ahead.
under miscellaneous.
Okay.
You have something, Debbie?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. This is regarding the cryo fountain. We talked about this
Oh,
before,
yes.
beforehand. I'm not sure who is in charge of that. I don't know if it's parks or streets or whatever, but I've had a citizen express concern to me about it and wanted to know if there was a committee or anything of who was in charge of maintaining it. I think the fountain doesn't work now. The water is no longer coming out in the spring like it's supposed to. And it was covered up at Christmas and it really looked nice with the lights. But 3/4 of the lights went out way before Christmas and they were never replaced. And a citizen came to me and asked me about it and said that he would be willing to serve on a committee, a citizens committee, to kind of keep track of it and kind of, work with the city as far as keeping it up and maintaining it, because it is kind of a unique thing. And in case there's anyone doesn't know what I'm talking about, it's the fountain on the point by Marsh.
We turn it off in the winter, don't we?
Well, but I don't think it worked last spring either.
Yeah, I did, because I rode my bike by, it was working when I saw it.
Okay,
Now, it
well,
might
there
be a
must,
different time.
maybe it wasn't all the time, but
Could be a
it was
different
just
time.
in general. But I think it's good that we have a citizen expressing
Agree, I
interest in
agree.
working with that. And if
There is
any,
times when there's, excuse me.
Yeah, go ahead.
That, when the cottonwoods come down.
Oh, it gets-
It gets clogged up real easy, doesn't it?
okay.
So,
But I just think the community involvement is good, so if
Yes.
anybody else would be willing or would like to serve on that committee in conjunction with, I mean, they wouldn't have powers to do anything, that wasn't kosher, but they can contact me or the mayor's office, and they can get in touch with me, and maybe we can form a citizens committee, to kind of, because I know the gardens around it, I think it's by the garden club or something like that, so this would be for the fountain itself.
Okay.
I don't know who would be responsible, but I've noticed that the lights on Park Road between 16th and 19th Street, none of those are lighted. And 20th Street North, almost to the old Walmart, there are those beautiful lights, but they're all dark. And I'm wondering why.
I don't know, I will have to find that out. So you're talking about the lights on Park Road?
I noticed that I was coming home, happened to be coming home Saturday night after dark, and I wondered about it. And then I made a point to drive down that way before our meeting tonight, and they're all still out.
Okay. I will find out what's going on with
Thank you.
those.
I have a couple things, Your Honor, if I may.
Go ahead.
Darrell, jump in and help me out with this if I stumble on it. I asked Darrell to give me a list of all the properties that the city is mowing and taking care of because of foreclosures, liens, and what have you. And that comes to a total of 21 pieces of property. And that's outside the perimeter of what their normal work duties are, is that correct?
Yes.
So, once the weather gets broke, I'm gonna ask if Darrell will join me, and we're gonna ride around and take a look at these properties. And I wanna get investigated into it to see with Mr. Baker and see if some of these properties are feasible to do with possibly what you talked about. If we can figure out a way to get them and get them paid for, to renovate them and do something with these, like the House of Ruth and what have you.
That sounds great. Sounds great.
And the second thing is just an idea I've been kicking around, and I talked to a couple guys on the council about it, and forgive me because I didn't get with everybody, but I would like for everyone on the council to be thinking about all of us getting together for a joint meeting, and I know it has to be a public meeting, to just kick around some ideas of where we think we're going. We got fresh horses on this council along with some veterans on this council, and I think we just need to ask the mayor if he'll squeeze us out some money for a dry erase board and meet over in the council room at whatever's convenient for everyone, and just kick out some ideas and focus on where we think we're going.
Okay, I'll be having a meeting with the Women's Voices here for long, and they have been setting out, and they will be, I'm meeting with them, I don't know if it's next week, is it,
22nd.
22nd. I'll be meeting with them, and they've been doing this such thing. And so if you would want to come and listen to them.
When is it?
The 22nd in the mayor's chambers.
From 3 to 6, Harold.
Yeah, and Debbie's on that committee, and this is the exact same thing that you're talking about, but they're willing to lead all this, so community involvement is what we've been asking for, and the women's voices are stepped up. So I'm meeting with them. So if you would like to come, it'll be fine.
Well, it's the 22nd. What time?
3 to 6.
3 to 6, and where is it?
It's in the building where the church was, that the gymnastics center was in.
It's on the backside of the
Yeah.
Connellsville
On the
Gymnastics
backside,
Center.
okay.
On the Arians.
Oh, where the Bikers Church was at?
Yes, it's on the backside.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Start. Yeah.
All right.
And it's not too late for anybody that wants to come to register to come.
Do we need to register to come to the meeting?
Supposed to, so they know you're coming. But you can just call the Purdue Extension Office, and they're keeping a list.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. Okay, we'll open it up for, is there any more discussion on that?
I got-
Ms. Lane?
I got one more thing. Dale, how we doing with EMS and the transfer?
I told him be ready.
We just talked about that, didn't we, Dale?
Yeah.
Okay. We've made, right now we've made 193 runs. We've billed out, 110 have been billed out. They billed out $104,755. At this time, we've received $35,914 back in. We have roughly $68,840 still kind of in limbo, that money that they're trying to get back in from off of like insurance adjustments and where they have to resubmit back into insurance, that kind of stuff. And that's about where, right now with the 35,000, we're bringing in a 34 to 35% of return. But that should go up once this other money starts coming back in. I talked to them today, they told me to give them at least another month, maybe a little longer, so everything gets out of the holiday season and starts rolling. So they're talking like right now, they feel like we're on a good run right now. So, but they do feel it should improve.
Okay, great.
Okay, another note, would you explain to them what we're going to do with that money we're receiving?
What we'd like to do is take 10% of that, put back, and then use it to replace the trucks with as they get bad.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier, didn't we? Yeah.
And then we got 83,000 back from the Medicaid reimbursement here, and it's a little over 83,000. But we'd like to take that money and pay off right at 41,000 to pay off the old chassis that replaced the EMS one, the Chevy that it replaced.
The jug one.
Yeah. So we want to use roughly 41,000 to replace it. We have the engine cost through the EDG of 10,000. We would like to repay that, get out from under it, and then we've got roughly 7,000, maybe a little over, to fill at the city garage for work that he's done on the other trucks. And we'd like to replace that back into his budget out of that money. That'll leave us somewhere around 20 to 25,000 back in that. We'd like to take that remaining and put into this replacement fund.
That sounds like a good idea.
So,
Yep, so we're getting out dead a little bit. And
Like that.
I like to hear that.
Yeah.
right now, that's kind of where we're at with it.
And tell them what you and I talked about. We're gonna, on your monthly expenses, I questioned Dale about the minor equipment was $6,176, and he explained that. Go ahead, he told me.
We had, excuse me, when we took over the hospital ambulance, we had upgraded our radio system on the city-county side, so to make it work into those trucks, also be able to work and talk to us. We had to replace radios in it, we had to replace our handhelds. So we had to replace roughly $5,440 of radio equipment. And then we had another $445 in computers that we had to do. And that money was encumbered out of last year's budget. So as far as this year, we're still okay there. And we had roughly $109 out of this year's budget to pay for the monitor for that computer. So and that's.
The other thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take a look at this in March to see whether we're going forward, backward, or we're stalled.
Yeah, it'd have to be probably 1st of April to do that.
Yeah,
once we
end of
get
March,
the month
yes.
end out of it, so.
That's good so far.
And then as long as that's looking good, then we'll look at it again about June, July.
Sounds good.
But
Thank you.
right now, everything seems to be.
Any more
looking
questions?
decent, so.
Any more?
Dale, your monthly report, you've got the mileage, which on EMS 3, it's much more. Is that the one you're using
That's
for these
the
transports?
Yeah. We're averaging, between both stations, we're averaging about 11 runs a day, so. Even our 911 side does quite a bit to what it was, so.
And what's your current employee count?
19 full-time.
That's including you, right?
Yes.
And are we running 4 trucks now?
For about, well, yes and no. We're running 3 trucks 24/7, and then we end up calling in crews to cover the 4th truck, because we're having enough back-to-back transfers that we're having to call in crews to get them covered.
Have we been able to handle the load? I mean, have we had to
We've had
resort to other,
Yeah, we've had to roll a couple over, but overall, we're staying right there with it. But yeah, we've had to roll some over.
well, we expected that at first, so.
Yes.
The information you read to us earlier, can you add that to this report so we can see the actual versus AR and everything? And then, your fuel expense is not in here, right? It goes to another budget. Do you have a way of keeping track so we can see exactly how much fuel and everything's being used? Because 7,000 miles is going to add up a lot of fuel.
Yeah, we've used roughly 584 gallon of fuel, so. truck, the one we're doing with the transfer, it's averaging about 13 miles a gallon, which is very.
13's not bad though for that.
When you take the new Chevy,
But
it's
I
running
was
about
looking at
6.
total cost, I'd like to see how much, even though it comes out of a different budget, it still costs taxpayers a dollar.
Oh, yeah.
The other thing to remember, fuel is really down now too.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Until today, it jumped up tonight.
Yeah, did it?
It'll jump
Oh,
up
it jumped
more.
up.
30 cents. 30 cents.
Well, is there any more questions for Dale?
I wanted to thank him because they transferred my mother from Fayette Memorial, or Fayette Hospital up to Reed on Sunday night, and they took good care of her. Thank you.
Thank you, Dale.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dale, appreciate it.
Okay, is there anything under public forum?
I have one thing to think first.
Oh.
We got the bailout system order in our packet, and it's under $1,000. And I did have one question about that, and Chief McQueen, I'm not sure if you can answer this or not. Does this require installation costs? Is there installation costs, or is that something that?
The city garage.
City garage, okay.
generally installs. We should be okay with that.
All right. So can we take action on this today?
Well,
Carol?
I was gonna ask, is that something that, Manya helps
I talked to her this.
for that?
I
or
just
not?
talked to her the other day, and she did not. She would. And the next one, but that next one will not be until later on this year.
Spring or something?
Yeah, spring or later in the summer.
Carol, do you have any donations for that unit yet?
We did get $500 from Franklin County National Bank after the K-9 exhibit that we had. And it's just for the K-9s, it's not specified for anything, so it certainly can be used for that.
Okay.
So we're bringing
So how much you
four-
want to advertise for?
I do the whole amount that because those canines will eat up other funds. So I would. It's $1,000 roughly. I think it's worth every dime. I mean, you got a significant investment in those.
I agree.
I agree.
So you want to take an additional out of the riverboat? Is that what I'm
Yep.
hearing?
Yep.
So you want to, so we're going to advertise it out of the riverboat for $979.99?
No, 1,000.
One.
To make it 1,000?
Yeah.
Okay.
1,000.
Okay, we'll probably be ready to,
Thank you.
okay, so is there a motion and a second on that?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we're advertising for $1,000 out of the riverboat fund. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passed. Okay, anything under public forum?
I do want to ask Fire Chief of May, I forgot to ask you this last time we talked. Engine 3, is that because it's location why there's so much more miles on it than the others?
Yeah, and it does do a lot of runs compared to the other stations. Has a few more runs a month.
Because I thought 4 would have more miles than that. but-
Now, four, you have 2 trucks over there rescuing.
True. Yeah, thanks, I appreciate that.
Okay. Anything under public forum?
Yes.
Ruby's comment.
I've talked to a lot of the council people, and I do think the department heads need to talk. If there's 8 department heads, take 4 the first month, take 4 the next month. Because there is people out there that doesn't come to meetings, and they do like to know what's going on, and it's easier for them to do that. And if we have any questions, they can come down and ask. But I do think it ought to be that way.
Okay, well, I will take that under advisement.
Well, I think your city councilman ought to answer that too.
No.
Because it's gonna help you in elections and everything if you let the people know what's going on.
I agree.
I
And I've been
agree. I
getting a lot
agree
of
too.
constituents eat me alive over not having them up here, but I'm trying to also.
I know there's some
be
nights you're
patient.
really busy, you can't, but I do think that you ought to put 4, if there's 8 departments in it, I think you ought to put 4 one part of the month and 4 the last one. Because that's what the people elect us for.
I agree, Ruby.
I agree. It does add
I've had a lot of
transparency.
So I think it ought to be up to you guys.
Yeah, I agree.
I've had a lot of
Thank you,
people
Ruby.
ask me about it.
Me too, I went to Dave on it.
And I don't know that it would extend the meeting that long. They don't have to go through every single number, but hit the high spots and at least, yeah.
And if people's got a question to ask, then they're feel free to ask, like they have tonight.
And all we need is just a brief overview. I mean, you know.
Right. You don't have to have everybody, just have, if there's 8 department heads, 8 departments, have 4 1 month, and the first and the last part do the other 4.
I agree.
They make it short and sweet, at least people knows that they're gonna listen to you about it.
The mayor and I talked about this way early on, after the last meeting that you were here and spoke in favor of verbal reports. And mayor's goal was, of course, to streamline meetings, not at all to not have transparency, because he wanted to make sure things were available. But at the same time, even recently, that within the last couple of days, he and I met again and talked about what needed to be done as far as verbal communication, some highlights, if nothing else, from all the department heads, because they are asked to be here at the meeting, so they could have a little report. I thought it was good that Harold was trying to get something done as far as streamlining meeting and getting things organized quick and swift. But after talking with people on the street, on the phone, and realizing how many people do get information about local interests from Channel 3, then I would have to agree that there needs to be some kind of verbal report, even a brief one.
The citizens deserve an answer. I mean, it just comes down to that, really.
And our viewer percentage is very high.
Yes,
A lot of people,
expect.
we have a very high viewer percentage, and that,
You may take your time, but isn't it worth your while?
yep. That's why,
If it's not worth a while, what are we here for?
that's, yep.
Okay, well, again, I said I will take that under advisement.
Well, why can't the board vote on it? Whether they
Ruby,
wanna
that's
hear
not
it
the
or
board's decision. That's not their decision. The department heads work for me and the council, but they're under, I decide what they're gonna do. That's my decision,
Then why did they vote for anything then?
because that's their decision. I control them, they control the money. Okay, is there anything else come before the board? This council?
Mr. Moorhead, I saw you out Sunday night at 11 o'clock checking the streets. Good job. You probably didn't see me. I was half asleep and you was half asleep, but we saw each other.
I did see you. Actually, we were just coming home at that.
And that's one thing too, you know, I do appreciate all the employees of the city being out. I mean, the police, the fire, EMS, they're all out of these hours. And I do appreciate what you guys do for the city, because you are the city, okay? You guys are the city, so just tell everybody thank you for what they do for us.
We'll certainly do that.
Okay. Is there anything else come before the council?
Yeah, I'd like to mention that at Connors Utilities, that Mike Bottomley and Aaron Johnson both have passed their class one, grade one, and grade 2 certifications. Yeah, which is they're not easy. And then Brad Coulter recently passed his grade 4, which, you know, between having to know formulas and math and regulations, both state and federal, that is one tough. I mean, as far as I got was class 2 before I retired, but class 4, that's a tough thing, and I congratulate all 3 of them for doing such a great job of having such an interest in their job that they want to do better by being certified.
Certainly.
I appreciate that.
Okay, is there anything else come before the council? I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passed.